clear.
We're good.
Okay, we're good. Wednesday, about 10:57 a.m. What a beautiful day to be live, ladies and gentlemen. We're here with my buddy, my student. Now he's a business owner, Shawn Fairchild. But let's start our day, boys. Let's start our day with a little bit of James Clear and see your thoughts on some of the shit he says. JamesClear.com, he has this newsletter. I've talked about it before. He pulls things from different books, different smart people to think about and talk about, so I'll just go over a couple one. First one here, he says, define yourself by your effort, not your suffering. Very good. I think that's good. Quotes from others. Mathematician Paul Thomas on what distinguishes the best from the rest. I read once that the true mark of a pro at anything is that he understands, loves, and is good at even the drudgery of his profession. That's good. That's real good. I mean, the drudgery of our profession, is probably cut and weight. Cut and weight is the fucking bullshit of it. But you got to understand it. You got to learn to love it. For Mariah, she's a professional barrel racer, so she has to pick up those horses' shit every day. She has to feed them every day, every morning, every night. She's never complained about it once. This one's about writer Doris Lessing on how to choose what to read. There's only one way to read, which is to browse in libraries and bookshops, picking up books that attract you, reading only those, dropping them when they bore you, skipping the parts that drag, and never reading anything because you feel you ought, or because it is part of a trend or a movement. Remember that the book which bores you when you are 20 or 30 will open doors for you when you are 40 or 50, and vice versa. Don't read a book out of its right time for you. That's good. I remember 5 years ago trying to read some Alan Watts shit, trying to read even some of the Don Miguel Ruiz guy, and I couldn't even interpret it. So it'd just go over my head. But reading those years later, it's like you start to understand it a little more. But that's good too. I mean, people are like, I can't read, I don't like to read. I just can't read. I'm like, you're probably reading shit that you just don't give a fuck about.
I didn't read a full book until I was 21.
Really?
Never. Like I they would assign some like books in school, but I just thought reading was stupid.
For fucking nerds and geeks.
Yeah, little nerds. But
what was your first book you read?
I think it was called The Alchemist.
And you liked it?
It was decent.
What was the first book you read?
Never read a book.
You read comics.
He reads his Bhagavad
Spider-Verse.
Gita.
You ever look at that anime porn?
No, I've seen it
I
though, but I never clicked on it.
Does it turn you or?
No, I think it's kind of weird.
Really? Come on, be honest.
That's
This is
what Art
all
likes.
on this podcast here.
What was your first book, Dr. Seuss?
Fuck, I don't even know, dude.
Like very, very first book?
Very, very first book was, I think, called The Hatchet. It's about this story. This guy's plane goes down. He has to live in the wilderness when I was in school. Some bullshit.
You remember this book called The Child Called It or some shit like that? It was like a fucked up book, but like they made you read it in school.
Like a scary book?
No, it wasn't a scary book.
Was
it
there
was
like about a transgender type book?
No, it was about a kid who was just like had a fucked up childhood or some shit.
Oh, it sounds familiar.
Child Called It.
Okay, how about this one? Reminds me of what we were talking about today, Jay, about you and niece. Nearly everything in life has a useful zone, a desired dose. 10 minutes in the sun can energize you. 10 hours in the sun can burn you. This concept applies to many things: work, relationships, hobbies, exercise, food.
Just gotta balance it all out.
I mean, dude,
Yeah.
That's what... I feel like if Mariah didn't have her passion with horses and we were together all the time and she just needed me and we were just together all the time, I'd be like, I'd get
Get annoyed
fucking
of her.
sick of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this concept applies to many things. A good desired dose. I think that's important for relationships too.
Well, it's hard to find a girl who has a passion like that.
It's rare, isn't it?
It's fucking rare.
Their passion is you.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, yeah. I just think they're wired like that. I just think they're wired like that in the sense of
Yellow.
who is that?
They're
In the sense of like they crave love and feelings and shit like that, whereas the males, we kind of crave like a career path, just getting after it, like
Just alpha shit or what?
Yeah, exactly. We're just wired different, you know. They're wired to crave that. So
yeah, and some girls that don't have really anything that they're super passionate about, they think they need their second half. They need to be completed by someone. When it's like, dude, maybe find a way to be completed by yourself. You might be an easier partner. But a lot of relationships too that don't have, neither of them have passions, and they're together. They have a kid, and that gives them kind of something to live for, and gives them
that's
something.
true.
Okay, the next one, James Clear. Simple quote: "The climb is the fun part." I think that's fucking true, dude. Some of the funnest parts of, fighting and training for me were training at Team Quest, not having a lot of money, coming down here, being pretty broke, living at the apartment with Shawn, or living at my own apartment, be broke, just struggling. Looking back on, those are super, super fun parts. And even for jiu-jitsu, you're like, oh man, when I get to a black belt, it's like the blue belt experiences, the purple belt experiences, the brown belt experiences, those are the fun part.
Same thing with getting girls too. It's the chase that's fun.
It is.
Once you fuck them, you kind of get bored of it. At least
sometimes.
I do.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, the chase. I don't know what it is. It's our ego.
It's a challenge.
It's our ego, I think, too. It boosts our ego when we're able to smooth a girl over and the girl likes us, and definitely.
But yeah, it's always the chase. Like even for building a business, it was like that was the fun part, you know.
Stressful too. We'll get into that. We'll get into that. Okay, this one says good marketing can sell once, but only a good product can sell twice. In the long run, your performance reverts to the value you provide. It's pretty good. Good marketing can sell anything once, but only a good product can sell twice. Okay, how about this one? Motivation comes and goes. If you want to do something consistently, then don't pick a level of difficulty that requires great motivation. Make it easy enough and simple enough that you'll do it even when you don't feel very motivated. You see that with jiu-jitsu all the time, dude. I can't even tell you how many people come in and be like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be great at this. And then it's like it starts to get tough, and you start getting in a couple months into jiu-jitsu, and then a year into jiu-jitsu, and you're like, holy fuck, the growth is so slow in jiu-jitsu, and it's so tough, and I got to be sore every fucking day. And the motivation just goes zunk and drops off.
I wonder what the conversion rate of people who, after training for 2 years, how many stay? Like what percentage?
I think most quit after blue belt. I think most get their blue belt, and then there's like...
I thought Jay was going to quit at blue.
Did you? No, Jay likes jiu-jitsu.
No, yeah. I had my days. Like, obviously, like, you're just kind of burnt out, you know? Or I don't know. It could be, like, other things outside of what's going outside of my life. So it's like jiu-jitsu. It's like... But I don't know. I always tell myself I'm just going to keep showing up. Even if I have shitty days, at least I'm like...
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I don't want to just go through the motions. You know what I mean? I don't know. Just a balance, I guess.
When I'm just training, having hard training. Just the other day, I had kind of Monday off. Sunday was kind of a rest too. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Just getting pissed off, just a shitty mood. Eating whatever I want, feeling like shit. But then I went and worked out with Brandon. He was pushing me in different workouts till failure. And that just re-fucking-juvenated me, dude. Brings you back to real life. Okay. Psychologist and author Adam Grant on criticism. Criticizing is easy and fast. Creating is difficult and slow. The 2 hours you spent on a book or a movie usually took 2 years to produce. Anyone can tear down someone else's work. The true test of insight is whether you can help them improve it or build something on your own. Pretty good. Okay, how about this one? Chris Bayless, a psychiatrist, on the goal of adulthood. The goal of adulthood is to let go of the other possible existences and to make the best of the one. A successful adult is one who understands that it doesn't matter which life you ultimately pick, only that you live it well. And I said that to Trevor this morning because Trevor's my buddy, good athletic kid, and he's always like, what if we did this? What if we did this? And he has his kids and he has his job he works. And sometimes he thinks about, what life could be in AZ? What life could be like AZ? And I sent him this. I'm like, dude, you got to be thankful for the life you have. You have 2 healthy kids. Mm-hmm. A hot wife, a nice house. You have a lot of things going for you. So just learning to enjoy that and be there with your kids and instead of constantly thinking like, what if I would have done this or different shit. Yeah, the one
It's
you
hard
live
because
well.
Trevor's exactly like us.
Oh, he is. He is. Okay, how about this one? What is one of your natural gifts? How can you spend more time leveraging it? What would you say one of your natural gifts is?
I don't know. I feel like probably business. Now that I'm in it, like I feel like it was just so easy. Like nobody really taught me. I didn't really read too many books on it. It just kind of came naturally. I don't know. Just building it.
What about you? How?
I'm trying to think. I always feel like I have good people skills. I mean, like I can always connect with somebody. You know what I mean? So just like finding a way to connect with people, and like that can go a long ways as far as like building relationships into whatever. You know what I mean? Business relationships, just good friendships. I don't know.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I think for me, maybe teaching, I guess, and being able to explain things in a way that people can understand them. And I think being calm when shit's pretty fucking hectic. But I think
I feel like that's a skill.
I think that came from my experiences too, being in just so many fights, being in a bunch of tough spots, doing jiu-jitsu so long, wrestling for a long time, doing all these different things. I think that was a skill that I wasn't born with. Yeah, you're right.
That's a big skill to have. If you let your emotions get up every time some little problem rises, you're going to have a tough time building anything, having a good relationship.
Toad, yeah. I mean, and picking something tough would probably help you do. I mean, probably just jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
In jiu-jitsu, you get in tough spots all the fucking time, dude. I mean, and having to stay calm. And then when something hectic happens outside of the gym,
yeah,
kind of used to it.
Jiu-jitsu will benefit every part of your life, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, it really will. Especially if you're not doing anything tough in your life. For sure. Yeah, but so the ADCC tournament, I mean, dude, that's such a grueling tournament, especially for the next one. I'm going to be even more prepared for that because that tournament is such a mental game, dude. It's 2 long days, and you don't know how much time you're going to have between your matches. It's mostly fucking wrestling based. The thing about the ADCC, if you go out of bounds, you keep going. I mean, there was sequences that were going under the table, and the ref wasn't stopping it. Even my third match, in my brain, I was like, I'm out of bounds, and that's kind of so I kind of stopped defending, but they let you go. The thing about this rule set too is if you get taken down, someone double legs you, boom, to your back, and then you go to a turtle position, it's no points for them. So in other tournaments, you can go to your back. I mean, it's going to be 2 points, but then you get people playing in the guard. But this tournament, everyone's going to turtle, so it's creating these back takes, it's creating these scrambles. It's forcing the back takes. It's fucking such a sick rule set. It sucks that the trials, East Coast, West Coast, and the normal ADCC is the only tournaments with those rules. I wish the IBJJF would move to that rule set.
I think it would make the sport much more popular if they did.
Dude, I think so too. Like, look at all the highlights from this weekend's trials. Like, crazy fucking highlights. Every match was exciting and badass. But it would probably piss a lot of the guard pullers off. I mean, you get negatives for guard pulling. You'll lose a match if you can't wrestle. You'll end up losing.
You would think it like would cause jiu-jitsu just to evolve, and I feel like it is. Like, I think people you have to know how to wrestle somewhat.
Yeah.
Like, I always think like it trips me out. Like, how are you a black belt but you can't wrestle? But I guess like jiu-jitsu is way different. I don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, especially gi jiu-jitsu. I mean, you want to be able to be confident, especially just not even in the room, but on the streets.
That's what I'm saying.
You get in a fight, it's like, I don't know how to double leg. The only thing I know how to do is sit to my butt and get to single leg X, or sit to my butt and get X guard.
Which I feel like it could still work weirdly, but
it would work.
You know what I mean?
But still, as some strong, explosive motherfucker, and you're a little guy who's used to pulling guard single leg X, and some big guy's on top of you smacking your head off the concrete.
For real.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's such a fucking sweet rule set. But
because it's weird. Like, when I first joined jiu-jitsu, obviously I want to learn how to defend myself, but then you kind of get like comfortable, like, okay, well, I know how to choke someone out, blah blah blah, but and then you just start getting more into sports jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But like at times I forget that it's like a fighting based thing. Sometimes I forget, like I'm so like used to doing it every day where it's just like playing basketball with somebody almost. I don't know if that makes sense, but
yeah.
I forget it's fighting sometimes,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, just watching you last week, I'm like, you came over to the gym literally not knowing what sprawl meant. You just flopped your guard or tried to get your guard. But then last week watching you with a wrestler, boom, stuffing his head, sprawling your hips back. I was like, yeah. Certain confidence comes with being able to wrestle too, for sure.
For sure.
Fucking got quite a bit of the gym moved. One day I probably had 10, 12 guys from the gym help me move shit over, and we're damn near, like, we're going to have our first classes tonight at the new gym. April 8th, the new mats, the cage gets shipped out. But it's going to be a fucking sick little complex. Compared to when we moved the gym from the little garage over to that church, like, holy fuck, dude, we had to paint everything ourselves. Us, 5 had to take down that fucking stage. It took us probably 5 times to get the mats set up the way we wanted. But then now this one, just going through all that bullshit and that stress made this transition just pretty fucking smooth, dude.
Yeah. Sweet to see the progression. Like, how many years ago was the little garage? 3?
I don't know. 3 years
2?
now, maybe? No, probably
Yeah, I mean
4? Close to 4?
At least 3 minimum, maybe a little bit past 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Now this
pretty
is
wild.
5 times the size of that.
Which is crazy. Yeah, the first gym was 900 square feet, and now this is 5 times as big. Yeah, it's weird looking back and thinking how it's all gone. Yeah, it's crazy. But even for you, dude, you came to the gym, and you were super passionate about breathing, and then you started getting into the cold plunges, and then the saunas, and then start just researching, just trying to become an expert in recovery.
Yeah. No, I started all that like 5 years ago when I did that XPT certification, because they showed us the breathing, the cold, the hot, everything. So that's what kind of opened my eyes to it. So I had just been diving in like the last 5 years of all that, and then I kind of got distracted with training jiu-jitsu. Like, all that kind of fell like on the side. Like, I would still do it, but I was much more interested in just training jiu-jitsu every day. So I don't know, in my mind I kind of knew, like, eventually I remember talking about this like 2 years ago about how I wanted to open up that center, like a recovery center. Yeah, and it just slowly all came together, but I had it in my mind for a few years that I wanted to do this. You know?
And it worked out good too, because this mall complex that we're in, it's like the rent's not that expensive. I mean, the two brothers own it. They inherited it from their grandpa, and it's this huge fucking mall. I think it's called the Arrowhead Mall, like the
original Arrowhead Mall. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's so badass. We literally got the Art of Recovery right down the hall. We got the old school weightlifting gym right across the hall. We got Kyle's Recharge Center right down the hall. I mean, we're turning this complex into a seriously fucking sick place.
It's got everything you need, you know?
So now that you have the cold plunge, and sauna right there, what's your routine like usually every day with it?
Usually, sometimes I'll hit the plunge 2-3 times a day. I won't do super long sits, but I may do like a dip in the morning, maybe a midday, like a few minutes, and then nighttime. But as far as the sauna, I'll only hit that maybe 4 times a week. I feel like if I hit it too much and I'm training a lot, it's just too much sweating, like, unless I'm hydrating like really, really well. I just feel like it drains me a bit.
I love it when people would there's a lot of people I know that would consider themselves very mentally tough. You know, I'm mentally strong. And then they get in that cold plunge.
God.
Sit in that cold plunge for 3 minutes. Let's see how mentally strong you are. And they can't.
I've seen hundreds of people in the last few months get in there. All different types of reactions. Some people who I'm like, oh, he's going to do pretty good. It's like he just folds. And some like older lady who I'm like, she's not going to do good. She sits for 5 minutes. So it's crazy to see the different reactions, like, in people's body, like how they tense up or how they breathe, or
And it sometimes changes too when you put it that way too. When someone there, I can't do that. I just can't do that. I can't. Be like, okay, what if you knew that this is beneficial for your body, for your body, beneficial for your brain, beneficial for everything? And what if we told you it's mental toughness that keeps you in there, being able to be comfortable too, kind of being uncomfortable, and then they're like, and then they'll tough it out a little bit more.
I always try and tell them that, you know.
Have you been do you help talk people through it their first time?
Oh yeah, of course, have to. Well, I'll usually talk them through maybe up to their like 5th time doing it. And usually the progression from the first time to the second time is like night and day, you know. But it's always the first one, and it's always the first 30 seconds or so where people are in full panic mode. And then they get it under control, and then they could sit for maybe a few minutes. But
yeah, it's I mean, if you get in the plunge very first time by yourself, no one's around, it's like you're
tough.
Gonna get out. But if you have someone saying, hey, you're okay, just follow your breath, and just talking to you maybe about the longer exhales, the longer inhales, just slow everything down, then you're like, oh, okay. Because before, even my brother would come down and get in and just think it's like he'd turn on some metal music,
just tough it out,
and just
they try and fight it. You just have to accept it. It's like you can't fight that cold. You can't tense up. It's gonna make it worse.
It's crazy too. Just, I mean, even in jiu-jitsu and wrestling and in fighting, you can push so much farther than your body tells you. You start getting that first forearm pump, you start getting your heart rate high, and you start getting your body starts fatiguing a little bit. Automatically, it's going through your mind, I need to rest. I need to shut off. I need to rest. And I mean, probably 99% of people go off that, and then they rest and they don't push it. But dude, you can push so much fucking farther than you think you can. It's fucking wild. But I feel like you need a coach to put you there and get you there. It's gonna be hard to get there on your own.
At least at first, you know. You're gonna probably bitch out. But
you want to rip this? This is that.
I'm good.
Sativa shit.
I don't smoke.
Jay, you've been doing a lot better at pushing through, getting tired, pushing through extra rounds. When before it'd be like you'd be shot. Remember when the gym the gym
2
first
rounds in, I'm fucking done.
Running outside, throwing off your gi top, throwing yourself on the concrete.
That's fire.
I feel like it's probably because you're getting better too. You don't have to be so tense. You know, you could relax more and breathe.
Knowing where to rest and
I think I've gotten a lot better too at like that,
being efficient with your techniques.
Being efficient and just like breathing through it, you know what I mean? And kind of like you have to be like, I feel like somewhat stoic in those moments of like, you don't want to show your guy that like you're fucking tired as fuck, but like, I don't know, you're almost like just like keeping a poker face, even if I'm like super dead tired, or like if I'm super tired, I would just usually give up, like, oh fuck, I don't give a fuck, past my guard, you know what I mean? Who cares? But now it's like, no, fuck that, I'm gonna fight. Like like in my head I think like, okay, I'm gonna fight hard for these next 2 minutes, however much time is left, and then I have the rest of the day to hang out. I have the whole day to hang out, or the whole night. Let me just fight as hard as I can for these minutes. It's literally minutes compared to you're just chilling at home after that, you know?
I mean, dude, even after that second match, my ADCC thing, my fucking forearms were shot, dude, and I was so tired. I wasn't able to eat before my first and second, or my second and third. And I knew this J-Rod kid, he got a bye, and then his second match was a minute, so I knew he was fresh as fuck. So it was a big mental game for me, just being like, I just gotta stay in good position, trust my technique, and just make the right decisions. And just literally with 15 seconds in the match, and then we go to overtime, I made the wrong decision. He took a shot, and I should have just fucking wrestled and be like, okay, this next in the overtime, I'm gonna keep up the same pace I'm doing, because I'm Taquino's like, you were winning the match, you just keep that up. But and then I'm so close to out of bounds too. That's where I go to turtle, start rolling, but that kid hit a nice back take, and it wasn't just a fluke. He was taking everyone's back. I bet you down there for that training camp, they were just literally wrestling and taking backs. And it showed. It was fucking nice, dude.
I watched some of their vlogs, like the B team, Road to ADCC vlogs. Yeah, they just have the best fucking training partners, and they're flying people in probably.
And even for me, I felt confident because I'm like, I'm wrestling with Division I athletes 3 times a week, big ones too. So I know my wrestling's like superb. The best jiu-jitsu guy I'm training with probably Skino, Aaron Wilson. That's probably kind of the best jiu-jitsu guys. That's probably kind of it. Quixinho once in a while too. But yeah, I'm excited for the next one. I really wish I could get that match back though. I want where we're both fresh and say, hey, let's go again. There's got to be a way.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Just
Like
call
if
him
he's
out.
doing ADCC, well, like I'm sure he'll do other big tournaments, right? Like
Super fights.
Or just
Super
tell him
fight,
like,
or
hey,
like
let's
a-
just me and you have a match and like
Hey,
have
come down to TW.
and have Sugar go live or something to that many people. He'd probably do it.
Yeah,
Maybe.
for sure.
Yeah.
But
Easily. Yeah, it's funny, like, going back to, like, that mental toughness, like, it's crazy seeing, like, remember when you were saying, like, you're not, like, at peace with it, you're just, like, comfortable with that feeling, or, like, you've been there before, so it's, like, when you're dead tired, you're like, I've been here before, and I could push through, versus, like, I've seen people where, like, they're barely flirting with the tiredness, and they just, like, give up.
mm-hmm.
It's just, like, trippy to kind of see. Like,
Yeah.
you get this, like, this second wind almost.
Well, I think I've said it before too. You get familiar with that pain.
Yeah,
Like
that's the word I
had
was
this.
looking
I've
for.
had this pain before. I've been here before. I know what it's like. So then you can start talking to yourself and staying in it. But the first time, like a lot of these bodybuilders from this gym, there's a lot of jack dude. They're gonna come over here and they're probably gonna be really strong for their first 2-3 minutes. And they're gonna be hard to deal with.
Yeah.
But then they're gonna fucking fatigue.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be like, oh shit, my heart is not used to just being able to think coherently at 190 beats per minute. It's just not. I'm panicking. I'm trying to rest. I'm about to fucking pass out because my heart's not in that good a shape.
Yeah, that fear muscle, like before the cold or before a competition, or even like sometimes when I'll go cliff jumping off a big cliff, I feel that same like fear. Even going up talking to girls, like it's a muscle that you work on, in my opinion. So the more shit that you could do that like you feel that fear but you do it anyway, I feel like it levels you up. It levels up your DNA almost.
Oh, for sure.
So it just gets easier and easier. But what's your self-talk before you go and chat up a girl like you see at the store or the gym? Like,
I
what's your
have to be
self-talk?
feeling like I'm decent, like I have a nice outfit on maybe. And then I just my self-talk is just fuck it, dude. Fuck it, because what's the worst that's going to happen? She's going to just
Say no.
and just walk away. And
Which
it's like,
is fine.
okay.
Yeah.
At least I shot my shot. I'm proud of
Yeah.
myself for shooting my shot.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I remember I was like gassing you. We were at the coffee. She was like, "Bro, you're a fucking MMA fighter. You're a black belt. You're
Yeah.
go
Sometimes you
get
gotta
that."
do that.
But it's crazy because like when you start thinking about girls, you don't think about that of yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even on this one, on the James Clear, though, like we were talking about, it says you cannot remove struggle from your life, but you can improve your ability to handle it. That's fucking
That's
good.
literally what we're saying. Yeah.
This one was an interesting one, too. It said, nearly everything in life is unfavorable once it grows to a certain size. It is entirely possible to have too many clients, too much work, and too much fame, too much free time, and so on. Pay attention to when the thing you're chasing exceeds its usefulness. Man, I think about that with the
That's good.
gym. I'm like, dude, even leaving our old place, I was like, I don't want to leave this. This was my dream, just have a smaller academy. Now we're growing bigger, which is fine, but I don't want to be. I mean, I guess we could, and I could just. I don't really want to have a gym with 500 members. I mean, the money would be nice. I guarantee the money you'd be balling, but I'm like, and then it's like not a tight knit group. You don't know everyone's name. You're just running like almost like a corporate business now.
Yeah.
It's like, where am I going to have to cut it off?
I think they said like over 150 people. It's like over the like in the old days when they had tribes. Once it gets over 150, it's kind of like too much people. You can't be super close with everybody. I don't know, maybe 150.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about for
I've
you?
heard that number
What about
too.
for you at your place when it
See,
starts
that's
going?
the thing. Is like right now I'm the only person working there, so it's like every time, well, at least at the beginning, every time somebody came in, I had to be there, you know? And it's like, fuck. Because for me personally, I value my free time more than any amount of money. I just want enough money to cover my basic needs, like have my good food, and then I want to be able to do whatever the fuck I want.
And I wonder where you got kind of that mindset from, because Dallas is like, he had a parlay, and if he hit it, it would be 90K.
I saw that. Yeah.
And we're like, and Sean's like, what would you do? Or I asked, what would you do if you won that 90K right now? He said, go buy a McLaren. And he works.
And he was being serious.
I know he was. He works almost full time to
Yeah.
pay for his Tesla, pay for his bills, just getting by, paying for the bills, but trading his time for money.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he would go buy a McLaren. So there goes all that money. You're still working. You're still a slave with your time.
Yeah.
I'm like, why did he get that mindset? Probably because
I'm trying to think. I don't know.
I think it's a phase you go through.
or it's kind of old school.
It's-
That's what you do. You work, you pay your bills. You work, you pay
Yeah,
your
yeah,
bills.
Yeah. But it could be a phase too. Maybe he needs to experience that and be like, fuck.
This is not what makes
This
me
is
happy.
not what I
I mean,
like.
it's nice though. I don't think it's bad to like want nice things. You know
No,
what I mean?
Of course not. No.
But yeah, there's like a.
But if you're not
balance.
already kind of financially almost free, or
Right.
you're not.
Like for me, like I always think like, okay, Dal, you may make more money on paper than me, but my happiness is way more through the roof than yours. Like I wake up and I can do whatever I want, and you have to.
You have freedom.
You put yourself in that position,
Yeah.
though. You know what I mean? So,
You have freedom.
yeah. And
I mean, that's fucking big.
I mean, I tell him what I do and I tell him how I do it, but he just, I don't know. It could be like maybe you want to do that for girls. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the reason you want a sick car?
Like, why do you think we want? Like, I still like to buy nice clothes, or like, you know, why would you buy whatever, anything expensive at the end of the day?
For sure. But
I mean, it's
I
nice
would
to enjoy
rather
everything.
do that once I know I'm good. Like my
Yeah,
free
that's
time
true.
is set up.
I mean, yeah, go through that phase where it's like, yeah, I don't drive a nice car. I'm like kind of broke, and I'm gonna live that way for the next 5-10 years, because I'm building my skills, and I know once I have a high level in this skill, I'll be able to build a business, and then the money will come. Compared to like, no, I'm gonna get a car right now, but now that I have this car that's runs about $1,500 a month, now I gotta find some bullshit job and give my time away when that could go to be training.
Well, I went through that because when I was younger, I got the Beamer. I was like, fuck, I want all the nice clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just, the more research I did, like the more books I read, I just realized that wasn't making me truly happy. So then I kind of took like, I got rid of all that shit. And then I started building like the daily practices that actually made me happy. And now I'm like, okay, once I have that base, now I don't mind getting the nicer shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I went that route too, so I see where Dal's coming from. It's like he just has to go through it. You know?
Want it right away, yeah.
It's one of those things where people say like money doesn't bring happiness, but if you tell that to somebody who doesn't have money, they're not going to believe you. They just have to go through it.
I like when Naval says even money brings freedom.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I mean, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. How in media psychological research it has often been assumed that watching pornography harms romantic relationships. A new study challenges that idea by showing that couples who watch porn together tend to report higher sexual and relationship satisfaction. In terms of watching porn alone, relationships only seem to suffer when there are significant differences in sex drive between partners. Did you and Nisa ever watch porn together?
No, we never did, honestly. But I know she'd be down, but like even like that, like having conversations about like what you really want, like sexually, can be a little not awkward, but you're kind of scared to see what they're gonna say, almost. You know what I mean? Because I
Yeah.
never really got like in depth with any girl I dated, like. But with Anissa, we did talk a lot about like, yo, this is what I want, and she would tell me what she wants, type of thing, but never sat down like.
It's weird with I mean, probably most marriages and a majority of partners I know, they've probably never even had that conversation. And they're married. And that's supposedly their best friend and person that's closest to them. And they don't want to have that conversation about what they're into or what they fantasize about. It's crazy.
Yeah, you would think, right? But like it always goes back to nobody ever taught us really how to like communicate with even just our friends or like your partners. You know what I mean?
Well, dude, I mean, coming up from 3, 4, 5, 6, when you start to be kind of coherent of what's going on, the only people you see is the way your parents are treating each other and the way they're interacting and the way their relationship is. So that's literally molding your brain to how relationships are supposed to be. Just fucking crazy. Mariah and I started watching some porn together. I finally started explaining to her, be like, I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to tell her. What is she going to break up with me? Then if she breaks up with me because this is the kind of things I'm into, then she doesn't love me. I mean, if you just love your person because they do certain things to make you happy, it's like, that's not really love then. But I started explaining to her, like, I'm fucking like a horny dude. Like, I mean, I like chicks and it has nothing to do with you. I want to date you. Like, I want to be with you. I don't want to date other chicks. And then we started watching some porn together and she's like, damn. And then she's like such a goody good girl. She never even watched porn before. She was just like, it was kind of awkward the first couple times, wondering what she's thinking and stuff. But then just started to build on it. Yeah, fuck. How does watching pornography affect relationships? According to popular media, the answer often has been that watching porn, especially when one partner watches alone, can damage relationships and lead to unrealistic or unhealthy expectations about sex. That would make sense if it's by yourself.
For sure.
And you're watching crazy shit, and then you're not bringing your partner along, and then when you guys have sex, it's just kind of vanilla. Yeah. That would make sense. Psychological research has partly supported these ideas. Although a few studies have proposed that watching porn necessarily hurts relationships, research has found correlations suggesting that porn exposure leads to decreased sexual and relationship satisfaction, decreased relationship commitment, increased rates of cheating. But a new study offers a more nuanced look at the role porn can play in romantic relationships. The research is published in Frontiers in Psychology, challenges mainstream notions about porn, finding that romantic partners who watch porn together tend to be more sexually satisfied and content with their relationships, at least when the couple is on the same page. I mean, you got to have a girl that's fucking open-minded too. If you have a girl that's just not open-minded, she's just going to think how her friends think, and she's just going to think how her parents think, and she's not willing to challenge it. It's like, fuck. Do I even want to be with this person?
If a girl's truly into you, she'd be down to do whatever you want to do sexually. Like, if she was really into you.
Yeah.
You know? I feel like everyone just has that primal, like, horniness.
I mean, there's probably a what if the guy wants to fist the girl? I mean, there's got to be a ceiling to it.
Point?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's into different shit. I'm sure.
I mean, there's some guys that are into weird shit, dude. When I'm cruising X videos,
just pissing on
there's just weird shit. I'm like
what kind of dark shit are you looking at?
No, it's just on the main page. It's on the fucking main page. You're just scrolling down looking for something good, and you're like, Jesus. I mean, people are fucking weird, dude.
But I feel like people crave that weird shit when like they lack the real life pussy. Like when I'm getting consistent. Like seeing girls consistently, I don't even crave porn.
Yeah,
it's like it doesn't even cross my mind.
I mean, you know? if you're sitting there and you beat off once to porn, and then you're bored all day, and then you're gonna look at porn for a second time. The more the second, third time, you start looking at some weird shit, dude. You start getting bad.
Maybe it goes back to like, you know, when you always want to up some shit. Like you always want to up the positive. You always want to up your porn. I don't know.
Well,
the
dopamine is probably craves even crazier video to get the same hit.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've been in some dark places.
Fucking Dal, imagine.
Because when I was a kid, sometimes I would hit it like 5, 6, 7 times a day.
Woo!
Sugar Shane, you're on set.
Dude, you're live on Twitch. This is perfect timing. We're live on RedHawk Recap.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we are, and we're talking about some deep shit.
I cannot make this shit up. Schmitty worked today. He was his first day today. He called in already. He is not going in till Monday. He called in 3 days already.
What a hell of a worker, Schmidt. What's your thoughts on that, bud?
I'm just doing training right now. He has training today for the next 3 days, and he said, hey, do you guys mind if I start training Monday?
And they didn't care. They didn't care at all.
And the training is
I've
literally just watching videos.
Yeah. I've never met someone so hungry to work. Now that's hunger at its finest.
That's motivating. Is what it is. I'm inspired.
It is.
I'm gonna start training for my fight in a couple months.
Okay, sounds good.
Deuces.
Damn.
Schmitty,
Called in.
That's funny.
Dude, I remember my phase where I went through like just a very work phase where like when I turned 18, I worked at a warehouse. I didn't have a car or anything, so it was like my goal was to get a car. So literally, I would take the bus like at 5 a.m, like 2 buses just to be on time. Work like a 10-hour shift, come home, go to sleep. It was just like repeat. It was kind of boring, but I was like, I need to get a car, so I just saved up like 3 G's, and then I bought a Honda.
Just hustle.
And then I got a better car, and then just kept grinding. It's crazy. Some people don't got that.
I mean, and it's not their fault. They
Yeah.
didn't build themselves. They didn't build their habits. It's their parents' fault in a way.
Because for me, I was like, well, my mom was super broke, so it's like I can't ask her for money. She doesn't even have money to give me. I'm like, I'm gonna figure out a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think it takes a certain type of awareness to be like, okay, I wasn't raised that way, but I have to change it. And these are the ways I'm going to change it. And I have to stay disciplined with these, because it's like, dude, even like Shawn, his mom thinking she's going to be a good mom, doing fucking everything for him, doing his laundry, doing his dishes, doing this. And then he goes out on his own and he just feels reliant on his mom. He can't even be happy because he's got to take care of all this shit. And then he gets in a relationship and I mean, they communicate good now, so they got figured out. But Danny's like, he doesn't want to clean or doesn't want to, but it's like, it's not even his fault. It's it's his mom's fault for raising him that way. It's fucking crazy. So dude, probably one of my favorite people is your Down syndrome brother. What was it like growing up with like a Down syndrome brother?
It was weird because, so he's 4 or 5 years younger than me. And, I remember when he was born, like I didn't fully understand what was wrong with him. I just remember
How old were you?
I was like 5, maybe. And I didn't really understand what was going on, like, because he always had to be at the hospital. When he was born, he was at the hospital for maybe 2 months. And I was like, what the fuck? Because he didn't really look too different, you know? But I was just so young and unaware. And then I remember, like, he had a lot of problems growing up, like, was always going to the doctor's office. And then I started getting at an age where I, like, kind of understood what was going on. And he was just, it was weird because, like, he had Down syndrome, but me and my brother always played a bunch of different sports, like, super athletic. So he kind of just followed that. And, like, he's probably one of the most athletic Down syndrome kids I've ever seen.
Oh, easily.
Like, he's fucking pretty jacked.
Oh, he's more jacked than most people, yeah.
Than you.
Yeah, oh, he is. And he can kind of, like, he's pretty athletic. He has good balance.
He has good balance. But the thing about Matt is his brain is so smart. He knows everything that's going on a very deep level. It's just his communication is like that of a fucking 2-year-old.
That's crazy.
Like, because some of the kids that I teach for the classes, they're 4, and their communication skills are very good, you know? And I don't know if my brother needs, like, a communication coach just to help him sound out the words. Because I know he knows, like, okay, I'm thinking this, I just don't know how to say it.
I could tell that hanging out with him, too, and he gets frustrated that he can't say it.
He gets pissed, yeah. Because my family, we know what he's saying. Because all his little slang, we were there growing up, you know? But other people he tries to, like, communicate with, and they just don't understand.
And it probably pisses him off when people try to, like, slow down their speech and stuff with him.
Or just talk to him like he's fucking
not there,
you know?
I wonder if you could teach someone like Matthew, like, sign language.
He used to learn sign language, but he wouldn't want to do that now.
That's crazy. But hanging out with you two brothers growing up.
Well, this was the thing that kind of turned him, like, bad. Was we used to game a lot, playing Call of Duty, and he would sit there right with us with a controller that wasn't plugged in, so he thought he was playing. But we would just cuss, like, say the most foul shit, and he would hear all
vile of it. Because, dude, you're in war with your boys. You're in war with
War.
with a couple of your boys, and morals go out the fucking door.
Oh yeah.
And
People-
him hearing that though.
Oh,
At
fuck.
what age?
Probably 7. And we're going to, and we were on like soccer teams or just played sports, and he would go and he would flip people off and just say some fucked up shit.
So I wonder where we like picked up to like profanity and like how to express it. I guess when we're kids too, right?
Yeah.
Or movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, movies for sure.
Movies and shit.
But that gaming was where I learned a lot. It was just X-rated as you can get.
I remember.
See, and
talking about that.
I didn't go that deep because as a Jehovah's Witness, being raised, I wasn't allowed to buy toy guns, or I surely wasn't allowed to play video games with guns and stuff. So I'm not definitely as dark as you.
But
are.
you're definitely dark.
That's why probably you're dark now because you didn't have it when you were a
No.
kid.
Jake, you know as well as I do that kid.
Hanging
is
around this
fucked.
kid, it brings it out of you.
Yeah, right.
It's just always funny though. Even with like friends, you don't know like, can I say this around this person yet?
Oh, you slowly start to
you
work it in.
slowly
You know what I do though is I try to just, no matter if this person's a doctor or a business person or an older guy, I act the way I act, and I think that's why I get close friends with people because they're like, oh, this kid's not acting some fake way that he's supposed to act. He's just fucking being himself.
Just being goofy.
And then it brings it out of them too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got a girlfriend now, Art?
I don't.
Your baby.
Really?
I don't.
So
I have a girl that I like.
How close to
having
being a
girl?
fish?
I don't know. It's complicated. The last few days have been complicated.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Because she's wanting to tighten it in a little
No,
bit?
I think she's kind of sensing some other things going on.
But are you honest with her? Like you tell her you're hooking up with other girls or no?
This one's hard because I really like her.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin it, so I haven't been completely honest.
Yeah, I feel that.
Sheesh.
God damn it.
I know.
But
She would probably almost...
I mean, she probably would understand, but it's like I don't think we're at that level.
You don't want to
yet.
risk fucking
I don't want to
everything.
risk it.
Yeah.
Because when I find a girl that I like this, it's rare.
She's an attractive chick.
Yeah.
What's good about her?
Everything.
Really?
Not only is she physically like perfect, like 10 out of 10. Like even I still get nervous being around her.
Really?
Like that doesn't happen.
Damn.
But her mindset is so similar to mine. Like, and she's a little bit older. Like she's 27. She's kind of been through it all. She's mature. Like she likes the psychedelics, eating good, nature, like all the shit that I like. She likes too. So
Look in that camera right there and say, I love you.
Tell her.
Just
it's
do
too
it.
soon.
Is it?
Too soon.
Is
That-
it? No, but if she's like just like you, why don't you be on it?
Because
If she is like you.
I still crave other women.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Tell her.
Do you
And if
ever
I
talk-
be with
do
her,
you ever-
I would
that-
be monogamous with her.
Do you bring it up a little bit, being like, this is kind of how my mind works? Like, she's probably
no.
smart enough to
Yeah,
understand.
She can't be naive.
I agree, but if you start a relationship with a girl, I don't think you can start it like that.
No.
I don't think it would work.
You got to build some
Foundation.
level of
Because how long did you build? for yours?
6 years. 6 years.
It's like building
Yeah.
a solid foundation. Just like
That's
fundamentals,
exactly it. Like,
jiu-jitsu.
of course that could happen in the future, but
Well, and it kind of, for Mariah, it kind of went a way of like, oh, I'm gonna lose him. I mean, when it's very first and you don't have the strong connection,
that's the thing.
and then you're fucking with other girls, you're building connections with other people, then that fear isn't strong towards like, no, he loves
Yeah.
me, like he wants to be with me.
And it's weird because I know, like, having kind of casual sex with a lot of girls, it's not very fulfilling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just kind of like,
I think one of those died.
I think it was mine.
Oh,
it's just kind of like, I don't know, it gets old after a while, you know?
yeah.
Whereas if you could have a deep connection with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe that's your only partner, but it's hard to say because it's like, okay, I say that, but then maybe a year down the road, I crave the other girls.
Mm-hmm.
It's just maybe I'm too young right now. I'm not in that phase.
I feel like it's never gonna go away unless you block that part out, and then you block it out and you make it a conscious effort to, when I crave other women, I try to distract myself with something else. I think you could, but I feel like it's never going to go away. It's just not in our DNA to be able to look at a woman and say, nope.
Well, maybe not everybody, because Dal, now he's wifed up. He's like, I'm not. If a 10 out of 10 came to me,
But
I wouldn't even.
he's like never really experienced like it in
Yeah.
depth. Like he's in that lovey like honeymoon. Like, oh my God, you're the only girl I think about.
But then, okay, we haven't seen him in a situation where it's like, okay, this girl's trying to suck your D right now,
Yeah.
and no one's gonna know.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like he
hasn't even been with a girl for fucking a month, so he doesn't know.
yeah.
That's true.
Like, period.
Yeah. But Jay saying, I was thinking about this too. Jay saying he loves girls like right off the breath. We
I
talked
Is it
don't love
lust
every girl.
or love?
I don't love every girl.
Is it lust or love?
but who's it?
But in
for
that
us to
moment,
say-
how Shawn was saying,
No, that's what I was saying.
you know what I mean?
In that moment. I mean, who is us to say what his definition of love is?
I feel the same way. I fall in love with girls easily too.
Yeah.
But
But
would you be willing to commit to them right away?
Or
But
in
why
that
does love
moment.
have to have that in it as well? Like,
That's
you think
true.
just because
Well-
you say you love them doesn't mean you're gonna be with them.
Oh, I could say I love every girl I'm fucking, but it's not like a deep love.
Yeah,
But
there's-
do you love
there's
that
levels of
moment?
love.
You love that moment with them. You love them in that moment.
Inside.
I think there's levels of love. There's depth of love.
Yeah,
Obviously.
I
So
agree.
do you say I love you level 1?
Yes.
There's many levels. That's probably better.
No, but I don't say it like in a manipulating way.
I
That's
do.
just like I'm just being truthful.
But it probably gives a girl of be like, wow, this guy.
But we
thinks,
talk
this guy
about
thinks
it.
I'm actually special.
Yeah, every girl's special, boss.
No, special to you, to where it's like
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
you
I
can
don't
love
s-
multiple people.
Yeah,
100%
100%.
can. Anyone
There's
who says
no way
you
you
can't
can't.
love multiple people, it's like you are. I mean, you are very fucking conditioned. You're
Yeah.
super conditioned.
It's hard though because it's hard to read those books like Awareness, like where it just says, "Oh, nobody else controls your happiness or your feelings."
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to understand that, but it's like when you get put in the situations, it's so hard.
Oh, bro,
It's
But,
almost
dude,
not impossible, but it's like our conditioning is so deep
yeah.
that it's like, okay, I know that I shouldn't let other people affect me, but I still feel it.
Yep.
It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I know.
So it's
For sure.
hard. It's hard for me to say like,
But you have that conversation in your mind. What would your advice be to someone else? I always, when I get in situations, I always do that. I say, if someone was asking me advice on this, what would I say? And then have that conversation in your brain. Be like, okay. I mean, you got to be able to. If you read it and you're preaching what you read, you have to be able to.
yeah,
And it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like
But it's like-
we're not like what is the word? We don't have bad intentions. My intentions are never bad. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like at the root of it, whether they know it or not.
yeah.
yeah.
Some people are like with bad intentions will say that to fuck.
Try and
or
manipulate.
To, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Control the situation.
Yeah, I don't think that's good. I don't think that's good.
So why do you still do it?
Yeah. Yeah, right. I'm good about it, dude. I'm good about letting the girls know. Even in Vegas, there's no need for this girl this weekend to know I had a girlfriend, but she knew. Like, it wasn't.
It's just like chill, like cool.
Yeah. It just makes it better. Okay, but I got this mirror guy coming right now, and then I gotta
we're
do
at
some other
53.
shit. No gi tonight. I mean,
Gi
gi and
and
no
no
gi
gi.
tonight. It's gonna be fucking fun. I'm so pumped.
Yeah, I'll be there.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. If you want to support the pod, like and subscribe. I mean, I saw a stat on my YouTube that 60% of people aren't subscribed. I mean, we're only going to try to put out quality stuff and not put out shit stuff that's filling your feed up and you're not going to like. So subscribe. It helps out. If not, no fucking biggie. But thanks for Brother Art coming on. Thanks, JX. Okay, see you next week.
You're going to shuffle in. I'm going to throw it 2, 1, and I'm going to come over the top.